Yeah, there wasn't. I feel like there was. AP brought up the point about certain traditions that the Quran got wrong, right? And one of those was, the Jews saying that Ezra is the son of God. And I want to, and obviously we don't see this anywhere in any Jewish tradition, any text. We've never seen this anywhere. It doesn't exist. What is you guys' response to that? How do you guys reconcile that the Quran?
Simple. I have the answer. Simple. Just Google Metatron.
What is that? Can you elaborate?
Yeah. The Jews believe that Metatron was the son of God.
Is Metatron Ezra?
Yes, from my research, yes, I would say that Metatron is.
What's your evidence?
Uzair. No, not Ezra. Uzair, as in the Quran. Yeah.
So Uzair is not Ezra?
No, it's not.
According to
I don't hold to the position that Uzair in the Quran is Ezra in the Bible, but I do believe that Uzair is Metatron, according to the Jewish belief.
Hold on a second.
Do Jews believe that Metatron is God and he is the Son of God?
The Son of God, yes, that's right. Just Google it up. You don't have to believe me.
Can you give me the evidence for that?
Google it. Google is there.
That's not how it works.
Maybe we can move on to the Q&A. But so I brought up how the Quran affirms the previous scriptures, right? The Torah, the Gospel, the Psalms. That's in the hands of the Jews and the Christians. However, it contradicts them at the same time. What are your thoughts on that?
It's very easy to answer. You didn't look at the timeline, so you presume that the Quran is talking about the Bible when the Quran never says such thing. Okay, the Quran talks about the Torah that was given to Moses, alayhi salam. And the Quran talks about the Injil, singular Injil, the gospel that was given to Jesus. And the Zabur, the Psalms, again, singular, given to David. But it doesn't talk about the Old Testament or New Testament. So there's no dilemma.
So what is this gospel or Torah?
I think you can actually look at it, your own verses. Let me see. I need to find the verse where Jesus came. I think you should know. I think you should know this verse.
You're saying you're going to the Bible to tell me what the Torah and the gospel is?
No, I mean in your New Testament, Jesus went to preach and he said, "Repent and believe in the gospel." So your gospels, right? He did, right? So your gospels, the ones that we now know as Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John, were written way after Jesus' ascension. So what gospel was he referring to?
Well, so this is my question to you. What was the gospel that the Christians had in Muhammad's time that the Quran says is with them, that they would have been opening up, judging by reading and seeing that Muhammad is also a true prophet? What was that?
Yeah, that's a different topic entirely, and that is about the Quran being the muhaimin of scripture. So the Christians should look at the Quran, look at the message of the Quran, and compare with what they have, what they believe, and see whether it is true. That's the whole point. And it's not talking about the Injil that you have. It's talking about your beliefs.
This is just silly. We can't like all the time. Whenever the Quran is put on the spot or Islamic apologetics is put on the spot, say, well, we just have to look at it or Google it or look it up or something like that, and then expect to actually come to a conclusion in this debate. I don't think that there is any point in doing that at all.
And you said it's not the topic, but it is, because you're saying that Islam is true. One of the arguments that I brought up is that the Quran affirms the gospel that the Christians had, or the Torah that the Jews and the Christians had. You're saying, well, it's not the Bible. Well, tell me what this thing is so we can affirm that the Quran is true or not. So what is this Injil that they would have been opening up to find Muhammad in?
Yeah, the Injil is about loving God as much as more than yourselves. That's exactly what Jesus said, didn't it? Didn't he?
Where is this?
Whatever the gospels that you have now, whenever he quoted Jesus, whatever Jesus said in the particular gospels that you have, that would probably be that is congruent with what the Quran says about Jesus' message. Then that will probably be the Injil.
Okay. So that's the criteria.
So what's the problem? What's the problem there? No problem at all. You're just making up problems in thin air.
Amen.
That was a A1 presentation of a fallacy right there. So whatever is in there, if it agrees with the Quran,
the Quran says the criteria
is correct and to be followed. But everything else that it says, which happens to disagree with the Quran or not agree with the Quran, is probably not the gospel. It's probably not true.
So basically, Matthew, Mark,
Exactly.
Luke, and John is the gospel when they have the parts that agree with the Quran. So Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John contain the gospel of Jesus. That's the Injil. They contain.
I wouldn't say 100%, but maybe some. I don't know. It's very hard to say.
But which one is it? I'm so
It's very hard to tell if you're corrupted gospels. So I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. I think this debate is long over, dog.
It's over. It's over.
Yeah.
It's finished.
Argument is ethics is evidence that Islam is true.
Yeah. If you want to talk about ethics about child marriages, I think I can cite a lot of examples where famous people throughout the ages married young. So even according to the Bible, Rebecca was married off to Isaac when she was 3 years old. Mary was married off to Joseph when she was 12. Akan's son Namun, she was aged 16 years old. She was married to her half brother Tutankhamun in 1332 BC when he was only 10. So there's so many examples. In the Middle Ages, there were so many people who got married very young. So why is it an issue?
Do you believe that it's okay today to marry children? To marry a 6-year-old?
I'm not talking today. I'm talking about before. I mean, before the modern age today.
That's what he's asking you, though. Do you believe it's okay to marry a young girl before people?
I believe that today things have changed, so we probably shouldn't do that. Yeah.
So you don't believe that it's okay, that it's allowed today to marry a 9-year-old girl if she is...
Because the governments of the day do not allow us to do it, so therefore we shouldn't do it. If the governments later on change their minds, then perhaps we will. I don't know. But at the moment, no. Yeah. At the moment, no. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, because the age of marriage changes according to governments and according to society's will. Okay, yeah. In Malaysia, before the World War II, okay, before World War I, in fact, I have relatives who married very young. Okay, as young as even 11, 12. Okay, but today, obviously, you're not going to find my relatives being married off at 14. Okay, but back then it was normal and it was acceptable. Okay, so things have changed now, but that doesn't mean that it's a moral problem or an ethical problem. So why is it a problem?
Do you believe it's a good example for us to follow?
It's not something. I'm saying it's not an ethical problem. It's not a moral problem. It's just something which society adapts and changes throughout the ages.
Do you think it is a good example for us to follow? Yay or nay, my brother?
Yeah, I mean, in Islam, we are supposed to be married off. I mean, the women or males even are married off when they have reached puberty. They're not allowed to marry before they have reached that age of puberty. So the standard is there in Islam. So I don't know about your culture, about your religion. Okay,
so do you think it's a good example to follow or not?
If she or she has reached puberty, why not? Yeah.
So if she's 6 or 9, and you're saying that she hit puberty, then it's an okay example to follow.
I'm saying that today we may not be able to do that, so it's not.
You're saying that you're not able to do that because of the law, but I'm just asking. Yeah. I'm asking. Is that a good example to follow? If she is 6 or 9 and has hit puberty, is that a good example?
Yeah. I don't see what's the problem. Yeah.
Now, what about before puberty?
Of course not. Yeah, that's a no. Yeah.
Okay, so you just condemn the Quran because this is talking about prepubescent girls who haven't reached puberty. Yeah. Says that they are being married off, consummated with, and divorced. So
that is where you're wrong, because that's not what the Quran says. The Quran is saying about women who has not menstruated, meaning it could be old women, it could be people who have medical problems, who have not menstruated, or women who have already reached menopausal age.
Yeah. Where does it ever say that?
Because it doesn't say girls, it says women who have women.
Where
it doesn't say girls.
Where does the Quran ever say that puberty is the...
Where does the Quran ever say that little girls are allowed to be married off? Where does it say that?
Well, first of all, let me say this real quick, AP, and then you can just jump on this. Because he's appealing to the word nisa, which is translated to women.
Yeah, it says women, right?
But no, actually,
it doesn't say girls, right?
Well, actually, men.
Does nisa say yes or no?
Can I answer you? I'm trying to answer you, sure. I appreciate it. So the word nisa doesn't tell you what kind of woman it's talking about. It can be an older woman. It can be a baby, because you literally have the Quran referring to infant babies that Pharaoh left alive when he had the male babies killed. And he said, leave the nisa alive. It's talking about the infant babies that he spared, and it calls them nisa. So
now you're mixing up context.
But see, here's the thing. You appealed to the word nisa. Nisa doesn't tell you what kind of female it is. The context will tell you. Now, in 65:4, it gives you 3 categories of nisa: the older nisa, the young nisa, and the pregnant nisa. So that's where you made your mistake.
So the menopausal women are not nisa. So women who have not menstruated because of a medical disease, so they can't be divorced forever because they have not menstruated. So if the guy wants to divorce her, he cannot divorce her because the Quran, according to you, the verse doesn't refer to this menopausal women or these women who do not have any period because of medical condition.
No,
You're just moving the goalposts.
Yeah, exactly.
Manji,
I'm not shifting. I'm asking you the question. I'm asking you the question.
Let me cite.
So how does the Quran address this problem then? Because we have.
Let me answer. Let me answer. Quran chapter 4 verse 127 mentions the same word nisa. Look what it says. It talks about orphan girls. The Quran gives you rulings on how to treat orphan girls, and it refers to the orphan girls in this case as nisa. So yatama nisa. This is the same word. Which you say is for women. So it's not just for grown women, it's for females in general. So there is no indicator that when the Quran in a certain aspect about non-menstruating women or non-menstruating nisa talks about grown women. We don't even know what the definition of woman is according to the Quran. The Quran never specifies anywhere that a girl has to reach puberty in order to be fit for marriage. It never says anything.
Yeah, so I guess according to Ustaz, AP and Sheikh logic, women who have reached menopause and women who have never had any of her periods because of disease cannot be divorced forever. That's your interpretation, isn't it?
No, it's not. If I were to grant you even the room, I would say that they're included in that. They can be technically included in those who have not menstruated yet.
There you go. You answer your question. There you go. Thank you. But it doesn't say little girls. It doesn't say little girls. No little girls there.
They're included. You're missing it. They're included.
Where does he say? But where does he say little girls? I don't know why you have to assume the worst scenario and say that it's little girls. He doesn't say prepubescent. He says those who have not achieved their period.
Talking over me doesn't help.
He doesn't say little girls.
You're just talking over. It doesn't help. So I'm gonna just wait until.
Okay, fine. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, I'm just a bit overexcited. Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, you know, it's all right. So over here we have Ubay ibn Ka'b. We go to Ibn Kathir's tafsir on this. This is what Ibn Kathir says, and maybe Minj knows more than Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir says this: Allah, the Exalted, clarifies the waiting period for the women in menopause, and that is the one whose menstruation has stopped due to her older age. Her iddah is 3 months instead of the 3 monthly cycles of those who menstruate, which is based on chapter 2, verse 228. Here it is: the same for the young who have not reached the years of menstruation. Their iddah is 3 months like those in menopause. This is the meaning of it saying, and for those who have no courses. So who is it talking about, Ibn Kathir? It's talking about little girls. What about Ubay ibn Ka'b? Ubay ibn Ka'b said, "O Allah's messenger, some of the women were not mentioned in the Quran. The young, the old, and the pregnant." Why didn't Ubay ibn Ka'b mention the sick or the medically impaired? The young, the old, and the pregnant.
Yeah, young enough that they cannot, they are not able to achieve menstruation due to illness or whatever. Yeah.
Let's see Jalalain. Jalalain says, and those who have not menstruated yet, why? Is it because of their medical issue, AP? Well, let's see. Let's let Jalalain speak. Because of their young age. They haven't menstruated, not because they're sick. It's because they're too young to have
menstruation. Because they are young. However, they should be achieving menstruation. However, they have not achieved menstruation.
Because they're young.
Simple. Yeah, exactly. So what's the problem here? I don't understand.
Right there, man.
I don't understand the problem.
So if
you're saying it's talking about prepubescent girls, the text doesn't actually say that. So
that is what the text says.
I just explained it to you, and you agree with me.
Yeah. So Ibn Kathir, Jalalain, and all the scholars are all.
I don't know whether you're.
Hold on, excuse me. All the schools of thought, Hanbali, Shafi, Maliki, and whoever I'm missing, there's one more that I'm missing. All of them having a consensus on this about it being permissible to marry prepubescent girls and even consummate with them as long as they can handle it. They're all wrong. Minj is right. What Islam are we debating here?